You might have already seen from our posters or from our Facebook, okay, uh, we have kind of named ourselves 行人道, okay, a community of love. So it's actually started by 4 of us. Myself, my name is Scarlett. Some of you know me. I'm an energy practitioner, and I also do coaching for those people who are interested to learn more about themselves and to learn more about their own spiritual path. Um, so we got together a few months back between 4 of us. There is also Seok Kun. Okay, most of you may know Seok Kun. She's a really talented musician and astrologer. And we also have Ping, her sister, who is based in Canada, a wonderful, amazing parent who has a lot of wisdom. And then, of course, we have Eng, who will be speaking later on. Okay, Eng is an amazing, amazing TCM practitioner, right? I have never met anyone who is so concise and who can actually grasp together the holistic approach when it comes to explaining what TCM is. Okay, and I have personally learned a lot from our interactions. And tonight we are really, really happy that he will be starting to share with everybody first, a topic that we are all so concerned about right now because of the last 2 years and what's been going on. So this community of love was actually birthed because we wanted to get together. Between the 4 of us, we have had a lot of life experiences, which I will leave all of you to read and uncover more about. Yeah, so we just wanted to bring together all our experiences and share with everybody. Hopefully it will support you in a holistic approach, looking at your body, mind, and soul. And we are here really to share effective practices. And we would love for everybody to start embracing our own human potential, to start to know ourselves a little bit more, okay? And also to live in harmony with nature, because at the end of the day, that's what we are here to do, isn't it? We are part of nature. So you can find us on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com and then you put a slash behind, you look for 行人道, okay? As you can see on the top right-hand corner, XINGRENDAO, okay? So you can look for us on Facebook. You can also join us on Telegram. We have started a group chat. If you look below, at the bottom of this slide, you can take a screenshot, okay? You can take a screenshot of this, and then you can go to Telegram and look for us there. We will be sharing information, video links, small nuggets, details of updates of, such sharing sessions and more. Okay, so do join us there. You can also chat with us over there. Okay, I'm just going to take a look at how many people we are already. Okay, we have 61 people right now. So I'm just going to pass this over to Eng. I feel that probably we can, get warm up and start already. So Eng, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Scarlett. Appreciate your time. I know it's kind of sort of a bit, I call this a bit late, but I'll just, okay, because this topic, to be honest, is a very big topic, immunity and wellness, talking about it. So I actually craft it out into 2 key areas. One is actually really the exercises. I call them exercises, or actually I'll share with you another definition, what I call Yawning. I'll explain that later. And the other one is actually some herbs immunity formula that you can actually get from herbal shop and prepare it and do it yourself. I call it a DIY tea bag formula. So feel free to use it to drink. It's actually honestly for me, I have been using this formula for almost 1.5 years. 18 months now since the pandemic. It has worked pretty well for me, my family members. So feel free to try it out. Okay, without ado, let me just run into this whole presentation now. Okay, here is briefly the content that I'm going to run through, a brief intro on the TCM concept, Yawning, what is Yawning? And also a new TCM concept that I'm going to introduce to you, and what are the herbs and the preparatory steps to actually prepare those herbs. And finally is sharing discussion and some FAQ area. So now without ado, let's jump straight into this first slide. So if you see in this first slide, very important on the left itself, in the center itself, we will always see this yin yang logo. So this yin yang logo is actually, it does not have any religion specific. It's just a representation that what the TCM practitioner, what we are trying to achieve. So it means here that because in this, we believe that in the TCM system, we believe that there's a yin and a yang. That means it's always working, this universe is always working in a what I call continuously balanced and harmonized relationship. So even in our body itself, our body is always constantly trying to balance itself. So that's why we have this yin yang logo. It has nothing to do with any religion or anything, but the concept behind it, how we balance our body is really the key thing that we are going after. And if you see from this picture, the yin yang logo, it talks about the earth, the fire, the water, the wood, the metal. These are the elements that we are talking about. So if you see from fire actually consists of the heart, the small intestine, and it actually runs from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So this actually tells you that in the ancient, what the physician or the doctors, they have discovered that is that during this time from 11 to 3 p.m. is actually what I call the heart and the small intestine running zone. And in fact, if the recent studies has also shown that the heart actually runs, the circulation actually increase from 11 to actually around 1 p.m. So theoretically, let's say if there's a major operation that you want to go, that time of that period, actually your heart pumps a bit more. The circulation actually goes a bit faster. So there's a biological clock in our body, literally, and the biological clock actually would actually determine, okay, which part of the organ is actually running at each time. So this is what it means here. Okay, and if you see on the other side, which is on your right hand side, it is the 5 elements itself: the fire, the earth, the metal, the water, and the wood. So if you see the black circle here, which is going around, it shows that what it means is it is like giving energy from one element to another element. For example, let's say wood. You can think of it as wood itself is like, a piece of wood. And ultimately what happened to the wood? It will burn off to create fire. And after the fire, when the wood and the fire burn off, it create what I call ashes or what we call earth. And from earth, it actually produce metal. Metal is like, those minerals that are found in the earth. And metal actually produce water, so forth and so on. So this is what I call like changing from fire to earth, earth to metal. And if you see the red arrow that intercross against each other, is what I call counter reacting. So that means wood actually counter earth. What actually happened is in the whole TCM system, we believe that fire, at the same time produce earth, but in order to ensure that earth is not overly produced or overly managed, you have the wood to balance it. This is where I call a yin-yang balance system. So at the same time, you create a new thing, but something will counter it. So it is always constantly in this kind of yin-yang state. That is what I'm actually trying to share with you, talk about in this slide. Okay, now here, talking about immunity, people were asking, what are the two most important from TCM perspective? So the two most important organ actually are lungs and spleen. If you take a look back at the first slide here, the lung is actually what we call the metal element. The spleen is actually what we call the earth. So it will the spleen will actually produce or provide energy to the lung. So constantly the earth is actually constantly providing energy to the lung. So it's the earth spleen giving energy to the heart lung. So that's where it is. Okay, and now we all know that the lungs is actually the first line of defense, and usually it is where you interact with the external environment. So lung plays a very important part in our body, and we also realize that if you recent studies also have shown that in our gut system, about 70% the immune system actually found in our body, actually all found in 70% of the immune cells are actually found in our gut, or I call it spleen. And basically based on a few literature research, the lungs and the gut are interrelated in the sense that there are what I call microbiota, which actually what it means is they actually connect to each other. What I call, in short, I call enzymes or good bacteria that actually connects between the lungs and the spleen itself. So with that, it actually forms what I call a holistic defense system to defend against any external pathogens. So any imbalance between the lung and the spleen will actually result in your immunity decreasing or imbalances. Okay. Now I'm going to introduce you what I call this thing called Yawning. Okay. In ancient China, Yawning is actually what I call, in simple word, we call it breathing exercise. And it also consists of what I call stretching of your limbs, and also basically it's really, in short, some people call it Qigong. But honestly, Yawning is not really Qigong itself, because Yawning is from the current context, it is a very broad definition. When I was actually in States learning my acupuncture from my teacher actually shared with me, Yawning is not just only movement and breathing. Yawning can be what? It can be breathing, it can be music, it can be singing. Because basically what Yawning means, or what I call Yawning means, is actually to guide and lead the flow of the qi. That means to ensure that the qi or the blood or the fluid within the body flows naturally and smoothly, so that we don't fall sick. And that is one of the way that Yawning exercise has actually helped, to prevent disease, to treat disease, and potentially what people are going after, the longevity. So coming back to our real world or the reality, we actually now classify one part of Yawning as a form of exercise. It's a way like what we in our current world talking about, exercise to keep fit and to stay healthy. And also, just want to share with you, this is the latest, one of the recent article that I found from the British Journal of Sports Medicine. They actually discovered that physical inactivity is associated with a higher risk of severe COVID outcome. So they actually did a research on that. It's actually, I have provided you the link. You can take a screenshot and then you can go and take a look at what it mentioned. But basically, what it means that with exercises, or in our current time we call it exercises, this it actually helps to prevent, people who have COVID conditions from getting sick, from getting worse. And at the same time, for people who actually have severe COVID condition, through exercises or through Taoing, it can actually reduce the severity. In fact, during last year in Wuhan cases, what happened is, apart from taking Chinese herb, they also actually did what I call, for example, like Qigong, or some different variation, different types of Qigong to help to ensure that, that the patients recover fast, to get out of the hospital, so that the healthcare system don't overload. So this is actually what how it actually help in building up your immunity. Okay, now talking about Taoing, what is one thing that I would like to share is this part. The first very important part of the exercises is actually yawning, because what actually yawning does is it actually, I believe most of you would have would aware that when you yawn, you actually intake more oxygen. What actually happens is, when you yawn, when you take in the oxygen, the muscle around the jaw, or the localized area, that means basically I call it the jaw or the brain area, they are being stretched. And when it is stretched, more blood will actually flow in. And at the same time, it cools down the temperature in your brain. Because as you yawn, you need to draw in more air to relax your whole brain, your whole, basically your whole entire head. So that is one area that yawning actually plays an important role. And yawning, to be honest, is also part of what I call Taoing or exercises. This is one, okay, the next slide I'm going to show you is how yawning actually you can do on a daily basis to help you to increase the blood flow to your brain. So if you see these exercises, anyway, this is my daughter. She's very nice. She actually helped me to do she's now my demo person. So how it does is, when you yawn, stretch up openly, and as you stretch out openly, you just take in the air directly to your mouth. And as you can see, when she stretch, she opens up her diaphragm, her chest. So this way, more air can actually get in, and it makes you stay more alert. Okay, I'll just run more time again, and you can see how it goes. Oops. Okay. Yep. So you yawn. Once you yawn, you create a sound. You take in the air. You feel actually much better, because in our current situation, constantly we are in a tense mode. And when we do this simple exercises, this exercise, you yawn and then you smile for about 3 seconds or so, you feel much better. So Taoing, one of the way what it does is, it really makes you feel much relaxed, and when you feel overall much relaxed and better, you feel more confident about yourself, and generally your immunity also goes up. Okay. Okay, next one, humming. Humming is also another one that actually helps. And humming in this way is also another type of Taoing. Okay, that's why I said Taoing is so broad, because you can yawn, you can hum. So these are the variation of Taoing, what it does to help you to up your immunity. So if you realize that here, he actually explains something very interesting. Probably some of you may know. It actually increases the nitric oxide. So what it does is, when nitric oxide increases into your body, it actually dilates the blood vessel and allow more blood to deliver throughout the body. And at the same time, okay, it calms your body down and reduce stress in the patient, which will help to increase your restoration mode. Okay, this is another exercise that can actually help you to calm yourself and also to really relax your whole body system. Okay, so here, what she does is very simple. First, you close your lip, all right, and then your tongue touch the palate of your mouth, and then use your nose to breathe in deeply and guide the air go as deep as it can to your stomach area. Put both palms beside the stomach and slightly open up stretch your palm. And then as you exhale out, of course with your lip closed, create this kind of humming sound. All right. And as you blow out, that means
We seem to have lost Ing for a while.
John Hopkins Medical University. So if you actually go and see these exercises, they actually use this to help their patients, the COVID patients, in the States, to actually help them to recover. This is one of the exercises that actually help in their COVID patients in recovery. Okay. The other one is deep breathing. So deep breathing opens up your diaphragm, relax your nervous system. That is another area that you can actually do. And this is another exercise that you would like to take a note. What is actually happening? It is moving up and down. And if you realize that the leg is actually 90 degrees, then the elbow to the hip is actually 90 degrees. That is the reason why. Because what happened is, if you put it down, if you put the feet down, creating what I call a triangular shape, it actually increases the tension of your stomach. You know, after this whole presentation, go and try that out. If you put your feet down, creating what I call a triangle angle, your stomach cannot take in as much breath as it is. And that's why I purposely designed this exercise to be 90 degrees to increase the intake of the air into your body. So how you can actually help in this, that means help yourself increasing the lung capacity. Put one palm at the stomach itself, put the other one at the chest, lie on the back, and slowly breathe in. That means as you breathe in, push the air to the stomach, and as the stomach will actually actually automatically been forced to move up. Use this to increase the lung capacity, because what happened is, just now as I mentioned, back to the earlier slide, we talked about stomach and that means spleen and lungs. So what these exercises at this point, what I'm trying to share with you is to increase the lung capacity so as to up our overall mechanism defense. If you see, a few days ago, I've been researching online, running through all various TCM about how they talk about immunity. Yes, fantastic. They talk about taking herbs, doing acupuncture, and eat the right food, rest well. Yes, these are all very good stuff and they help. But one thing that I think that another angle that I'm coming at is actually about using exercises to up the immunity, because honestly, a body itself, a mechanism, is not just purely eating food, rest, but you need a more holistic way to manage your body condition better. So all these exercises will actually help you to make your body even stronger. That is the angle that I'm coming at. All right. So now we'll move on to the next slide. Okay. All right. So what my daughter here does is a stretching exercises, but at the same time it opens up your lung capacity. So what it does here is, if you take a look at her, okay, I'll just run through again. See, her palms are opening as wide as it can. Her legs are straightened. Her whole entire hands are straightened. And then she open up her chest. She pulls her chest out and lift her head up. So this movement, especially for us, where most of us are desk bound in today's society, this exercise is very, very helpful. Not a lot, just 10 times per day is good, because it relaxes your neck and your shoulder muscle. After this whole presentation, feel free to try it out. Okay, so what you need to do is 2 palms face each other, open wide, push your chest out, head slightly tilt up, do a deep breathe, and breathe out. As you breathe out, drop your whole entire arm. All right, let's run through one more time. Open. All right, chest out, hips up, breathe, and then come down. Okay.
There are actually some questions, right? People are asking on the chat. Does it matter if you breathe through the mouth or the nose, and at which point do you start breathing?
Okay. Thanks. Because I haven't seen a chat. Okay. So you mean you're talking about in general? Okay. Let's say when we run through all these exercises, very good. Thanks for asking. The most important thing is to breathe through the nose. All right. In general, the general rule of thumb is we breathe through the nose and exhale through the mouth. That is the very most important thing. Like all these exercises that was designed is actually through the nose and out from the mouth. Some of them, depending, for example, these exercises, yawning. Yawning in a way is in and out of the mouth, but let's say humming is in and out of the nose. So most of the exercises, the general rule is breathing in through the nose and out of the mouth. Okay. Any other questions?
They ask at which point, Wei-Ping is asking, at which point do you start breathing in? Probably maybe for the last exercise that you
Okay, here, this exercise, right? Okay, let me jump to that slide. Okay, for this exercise, right? Oops, let me just run through that slide. This one. Okay, here, just breathe normally. As you push your chest out, your head slightly tilted up, breathe in. Once you breathe in, then the next immediate thing is to blow out. That means breathe out. And when you breathe out, drop your hand. This is the exercises that focus on. That means literally once your head tilted slightly up, do a breathe in, and then after that, once you breathe out, drop your hand and your head just return back to its original position. Any other question?
No other questions. So maybe I'll just clarify on behalf of everyone. So I guess you're saying is that when we tilt our head up and when we open up our palms, we breathe all the way in. But the minute our breath is complete and we drop our arms, right?
Okay. Okay, Scarlett. Let me just re-explain it again. So as the palms face each other, okay, let me just run through here. See, the palms face each other, extending. Just breathe normally. You don't have to worry about where is it? Is it breathing in or out? All right. And then as we go here, all right. Now, if you see the chest is pushing out, here take another extra deep breath. So just breathe normally. It's just that as you once your chest is out and your head slightly tilted up, take another one deep breath in. That means a deeper breath in, because that deep breath that you go in actually relax or open up the whole muscle. And the reason why we actually stretch the palm is because the palm, once it's opened up, the forearm all the way to your bicep, tricep, they are all open and stretched out. So that means once you open up your palm, your whole, from the point, the muscles, all the way to your, I shall say, to your bicep, the whole, and even all the way to the shoulder, the muscles are all stretched out. That means it is all at the maximum stretch. Once they are stretched, the lung capacity increase. It allows more air to actually go in.
Joyce is also asking, is it better to do this during the day or is any time fine to do these exercises?
So any time of the day is actually good enough. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule. It's like, especially with people who are actually desk bound, you know, after you do your work for a while, you want to take a break, do this exercise to help your neck, your shoulder. Because in today's society, especially, you know, working professionals, we spend so much time on our computer that our shoulder and our neck, to be honest, because I have seen a lot of patients with neck problems because the muscles are overly stretched forward. And when they stretch forward for a prolonged period, the muscles starts to harden. And when you do this exercise, especially when you push out the chest and your head slightly tilted, it relaxes the whole muscle and it helps you to breathe in better. Because what happened is, after a prolonged seated position, especially when in a seated down position as you face the computer, your neck subconsciously actually moves forward. And when you move forward, it tightens your rib cage, and the amount of oxygen actually getting into your body reduce. So you see there's a vicious cycle effect. So what I'm trying to do is to reverse this whole thing by you pushing your chest out, your head tilted up, and once you give the breathe and out, once you breathe in and out, it relaxes the whole entire neck and shoulder muscle.
There's another question from Jacqueline. She's asking, can we do the seated exercises while standing if it's applicable, except for the one that's lying down on the 90 degrees? Can the rest of the seated exercises be done while standing?
Okay, yes, no problem with that. We can actually do that. I mean, if you feel that is comfortable with you, by all means, it is absolutely fine. Any questions from here?
No, that's all.
Okay, good. Okay, this is another exercise that just now I showed. Okay, for this exercise, you need to really do a sit down. What happened is, see my daughter, she's going to do what I call a C and an inverted C shape. So, and take note, just later on, take a look take a look. The movement starts from her what I call her tailbone and ends with the head. All right. This is slightly a bit different. It's not like the traditional way where your head go down first and then your body drop. I'm doing what I call a reverse. Okay, you see? All right. See, her tailbone drop first, then her head, followed by her head. So every time when she moves, she actually moves the tailbone first and end off with the head for a C and an inverted C direction. For this exercise, don't worry about the breath. Just go with the flow of a C and an inverted C. All right. That way, what happened is you open up your back muscles. All right. Especially people who are seated for long, you open up your back muscle and really it helps you to straighten your back. Any question here? All right. Okay, we'll proceed. If there's any question, just feel free to drop in the chat. All right. So this one is also to help with your shoulder to rebalance the whole body between left and right. All right. I believe some of y'all may have seen Bollywood dance. You know, they dance like, you know, one hand going up, the other hand going down. So here I actually make a slight deviation change here. If you see the palm again, open as wide as you can. And once the palm face up, your head actually looks towards that direction. And when the other palm, you know, face up, that means on the other side, your head will turn the other way. So I'll run through again, open up, palm, okay. And literally it's just, so what actually happened is, imagine when you do this, you are actually aligning across from one end of the hand to the other hand and the other end of the hand. That means fingertip to fingertip, from left fingertip to right fingertip. That means both hands. This exercise is to align the whole entire horizontal, the whole horizontal system of the body. And so far, those movement exercises that I have shown, minimum 10 times each. All right. And it should not take more than, it should not take more than 10 minutes to complete some of these exercises. Okay, now I will run through another one. So this exercise, all right, she bent her knee and she raised her hand. It's like a bird flying. So what happened is, when she did these exercises, as she bent down and when she leave her hand, the rib cage are actually open and expanded out. So as she do that, it increase basically the rib cage muscles are stretched. But at the same time, your back scapular muscles, the scapular area, or the muscles all around there are actually moving up and down, stretching itself, so that, you know, it helps to strengthen your back. So this exercise's intention is really to open up the side rib cage to increase the lung capacity. B, at the back of your muscle, the scapular bone, the muscles all around there open up, so that it will not create what I call tension at your back. All right. And then we'll run through another one. Okay, all these exercises are done. I mean, these are some of the simple exercises which you can do it on a daily basis. Should you do all? If you can, do it all. But if not, pick some of these exercises that you think is good, or which you think is helpful, and you create, you know, like the sequence that I show you, there's no hard and fast rule, but it's more of, okay, which one you think is more applicable to you at this point of time. The breathing one is, to be honest, if you ask me what I would do all the movement exercises followed by the deep breath, and also, you know, the breath that okay, if you ask me the what exercises that I would do the most, in fact, personally myself, I would do this. This is one of the simplest one, and it actually helps me a lot. This one, the sitting, and the C, inverted C, and this one, what I call the Bollywood dancing. And actually, honestly, and this rib cage, because you relax my muscle, it aligns my muscle, because once the muscles are aligned, your capacity, that means your lung capacity, your breathing capacity will go up. That is the whole intention where I'm coming at. And once you finish all these exercises, you can do any of this, like lying down, breathing through to your stomach, or even humming sound, or yawning. This is because these are more active and these are more subtle and gentle exercises. So you need to balance them up to make your lung capacity or your lung, how should I say, activity stronger. That means to increase your whole lung immune system, what I call the first line of defense. All right, let me see, any questions here? Okay, you want to see the rib cage again? Okay, okay, I'll run through that rib cage again. All right, the rib cage exercise, so just hold on. Okay, just run through. See, what happened is like a bird flying. First, you kneel down. As you kneel down, you lift two of your hands up. And as you stand up, your hand push the body, your hand goes down. So this is how it is like. Any question here? Okay, so without ado, I think we are actually, we still have about 15 minutes or so. I don't want to make sure that I don't want to over drag the time, because I want to leave some time for Q&A. So what I will do is I will run to the what I call tea bag herbal tea. So tea bag herbal tea, this concept is actually a bit different from what I call the traditional way of doing it, because it is using this thing called human spatial medicine concept. It is a brand new medical theory system, but what it does is it actually integrates both science and TCM concept together. Because what actually happened is the herbs itself, all right, we use the I call it the analysis of, or the concept of the TCM to treat a cell. So basically what happened is we think of a human body as a big cell, and within the big cell we have small cells, like the organ, like liver itself is a cell, and within the liver itself, that's what I call liver cell. And what we are trying to do is to ensure that each cell function to its maximum capacity. And so that's why it is a bit different from the traditional way, where I think most of you would have understand, you know, you either get brew herbs or powder herbs or tablets. Here, we are actually using raw herbs. We grind them into powder, and then we will just consume in a form of tea bag. All right. And I will run into it. Okay. So for this time around, what we'll do is we'll be using about 6 herbs to make this what I call a mini immunity. The first herb is actually dandelion. The next herb is actually the angelica. All right. Next one is cinnamon. The other one is ephedra and calamus, and this one is, oh, I myself also have difficulty in pronouncing because it's a very scientific thing. Phytralia, I don't know how to spell that, sorry, but these are the 6 herbs that we'll be using. Of course, there are also other herbs like jujube and also purea, but for this time round, we are not using that. Okay, the tools that we'll be using to make the tea bag herbs is a sealer, a tea bag, a weighing machine, a grinder, and an empty bowl. So what happened is, these herbs, once we obtain these herbs, we put these herbs into the weighing machine, and then from there we'll grind them into coarse powder. And once we grind them into coarse powder, put them into an empty bowl. And after that, once you have that, get an empty tea bag and put a weighing scale to even out. That means to do what I call a zeroing. And with that, take the herbs itself, that means from the bowl, and put into the tea bag, and finally seal it up. All right. So this is how it's like. So basically, these are the herbs that are grind. So we'll put into the bowl, and then wait to make sure that this is the amount. And then after that, we'll put that into the tea bag. All right. Yeah. So later on, I'll explain to you what is it all about here, the logic behind it. But run through this, and then I'll explain a bit more later. All right. Okay, so if you see from this video side, the weight of this tea bag is about 4 grams. All right. And then after that, what you do is you with the tea bag, and then you just seal it up. All right. Okay. So this is the basic immunity formula. The dandelion is about 0.7. Okay, the cinnamon 0.2. This is the herb that is actually per tea bag. It's about 3.2 grams. So literally what happened is, for example, how do you get to 3.2 grams? So in order to do that, let's say if you go to a medical hall, if you purchase, you can't get a 0.7 or 0.8 because medical hall honestly will not be able to sell you that. So what you need to do is you go to a medical hall, you get a 7 gram, that means a 10 times, that means a 10 times amount, that means a 7 gram, a 2 gram, a 3 gram, a 6 gram, another 6 gram, and 8 gram. So once you have this, so total will be about 32 gram. And with the 32 gram itself from the medical hall, you purchase it, bring it back, grind it, and then divide by 10, and you will get this 3.2 gram. So proposed amount is either 5 or 10. So you have to do a bit of math. Let's say if you are not doing in 10 tea bags, you do it in 5. So you multiply by 5. That means cinnamon, you get 1 gram instead of 2 gram. So you have to do some multiplication here to do your immunity tea bag. So this is the tea bag that I've been drinking for about 18 months to help in generally up my immunity. All right. So with this tea bag, what do I do? So any amount? No, but just recommended 300 ml each time, and you can drink 2 to 3 times per day. Do you need to use boiling water or warm water when making those tea bags? Is it no? Just room temperature water is sufficient. But of course, if there's convenient, you can use warm or boiling water because it can speed up the effect of the medicine. All right. Any diet restriction for when drinking this tea bag? No. Not not really, except for mung beans or mung bean related product. Because so far from my research and from when my teacher shared with me, mung beans or mung bean related products seems to neutralize this tea bag effect. So we will try to avoid taking mung beans or mung beans related product when consuming this tea bag. So other than that, there are no diet or food restriction. It is a bit different from the traditional one, where sometimes they say, oh, you cannot take carrot, you cannot take eggs, you cannot take all those things. It is much simpler because you only have one type of food that you cannot take, which is mung bean. And B, you can actually, because once this herbs is packed into tea bag, you just use water and you can just drink it like normal water. And in fact, for my kids itself, and for some of them who have difficulty in sharing, if 300 ml is not enough or it still have strong taste, don't worry about it. Add more water to neutralize the effect. That means not the effect, the taste. And once you drink it, it will still have the same effect. Okay, because what happened is here we are talking about the energy flowing in and out of a cell system. We are not talking about the other way where the classic TCM where it talks about, oh, you have to go through this meridian line and all those things to, like, go through meridian line or go through the organ, which is far more complex. In fact, for novice user who wants to appreciate or understand about this tea bag, this understanding TCM herbs, this is actually very, very good. Personally, my own experience, this is only for immunity. In fact, some of my patient has been drinking this tea bag for post-stroke related, for eczema, for different type. So why this tea bag honestly does not meant to treat any disease or any illnesses. But what it does is it actually helps to balance your body system. If you still remember the very first slide that I mentioned about, what I'm trying to do here, or the TCM ultimate goals perspective, is to balance your body yin and yang. This is the purpose of this tea bag, making sure that what is not enough or what is too much, we recalibrate them. And once the body recalibrate, everything falls in place. Even those exercises or the Taoing that I've shown just now, the exercises that you do is just to literally align the body. Because once your body is aligned, your muscles, every part of your body will move back to its original position. And when they move back to its original position, the pain will decrease or gone. Everything will run on its own. Because honestly, it's like, imagine your neck, for example, if you talk about exercises, when you're after a prolonged position, your neck is actually, tilted out. What I do is when I push the chest out and slightly tilt your head up, it creates space for the muscle to fall back to its original position. And once it fall back, your whole entire neck tension goes away. It is a bit different from the traditional, what most people know as, you go outside and do massage. Sometimes massage is good, yes, but sometimes massage can be very painful because after some massage, you actually suffer, next few days, that kind of soreness and painness. That is because the muscles are stretched and pulled. For here, in this T-spec perspective, we are just recalibrating the whole internal organ. That means, like what I say in the first slide, the lungs, the spleen, the kidney, the liver, and the heart. We are just recalibrating the whole entire system to balance. And once that's balanced, everything will fall in place. That is where I'm coming at. We don't have to go specifically, oh, I'm trying to treat a problem. No, because once it is balanced, your body will naturally does its own work. Okay. Let me just run through a couple of questions here. Okay. Let's see. The quantity. Okay. Let me run through it because there are some chat here. Okay. I think Jade actually asked me a question. Does turmeric powder tea bag build immunity and is it suitable for everyone? Okay, very good question here. Okay, turmeric powder from today's current science of view, the most important thing in turmeric powder is curcumin. And curcumin must use and it should use what I call black pepper to complement, to increase the absorption for the body so as to reduce what I call inflammation. So basically, turmeric powder actually helps in reducing what I call inflammation and up the immunity, but it must complement with black pepper. So if you ask me, is it suitable for everyone? Yeah, well, it may be, but it is not. Put it this way, you see, some people, it really boils down to the fundamental of your stomach or your spleen. Does your spleen has the capacity or capability to absorb the turmeric essence? Because honestly, if everything boils down to your stomach, can your stomach actually absorb all the nutrients or the nutrition? If it still doesn't, you can have the best food in the whole world, but honestly and sadly, it will not be totally absorbed by the body. So turmeric powder is definitely good. And if you ask me, is it suitable for everyone? I don't know. But because the stomach condition of each individual is different. So, but in a general way, in a broadly speaking, it is actually good for most of the people. And Jenny, you actually asked, 2 to 3 times a day means 2 to 3 tea bags a day? No. That means one tea bag itself can use it, can actually brew it 2 to 3 times. In fact, for me, I'm a lazy person. What I do is one tea bag, I just put one liter, and after I finish it, I just refill it with another 1 liter. Literally, I drink the whole tea bag until until the tea bag has, to the point that when I drink it, it has no taste at all. It becomes literally like water. Okay. Can we drink the tea bag when you have menstruation? Okay. So for this immunity tea bag, no problem, because the function of this tea bag is to improve the lung and the spleen capacity. We haven't been, I'm not like many, basically this tea bag does not go to the extent of adjusting your menstruation. So it's pretty safe. Okay, this tea bag, is it suitable for all body constitution? Okay, this tea bag in general is suitable for most. Why I say why most is because some of them, when they drink, if it is too concentrated, let's say depending on the amount, it can actually, some people may feel a bit heaty. That is because, or some people may feel when they drink it, the tongue, especially the tongue, start to feel a bit of numbness. Because what actually happened is, okay, I hate to use the word chi because chi has created a lot of confusion. But here, the reason why I use chi is because when this tea bag is drink, the chi is actually flowing. And what it's trying to do is, as it flow, your body will create a kind of sensation, especially people who drink the tea bag will have a numbness for the first few days. But that's fine because it is actually the flow of the body, the energy of the body start kicking in and working. So after a few days, once you get over, your body, because it's in a state of what I call recalibrating, readjusting, after that you will get into a balanced state. And once you drink it, it's like, it's just like drinking normal herbal tea, those kind of typical tea leaves that you drink outside. Put white pepper instead of black pepper. Okay, for turmeric itself, if you are talking about turmeric, as far as I understand, it works better with black pepper. White pepper, I don't think so, because it has two different characteristics. Okay, how can we improve our stomach and spleen function? Very good question. This is a very, very big topic itself. Okay, very big topic is because spleen and stomach itself, and especially in Singapore context, we are actually in a very hot and humid environment. One of the things that we always need to take care of and fundamentally is our diet, because when we are in this place, sometimes we tend to take cold stuff, but because cold stuff actually slows down the function of your stomach, and once it slows down, it creates what I call laziness for your spleen, and once the laziness set in or kick in, it cannot perform its right function, and as a result of that, it creates dampness. From the TCM perspective, it creates dampness and other problems start arising. So very important is you want to improve the stomach or what I call spleen function. Is actually one part is really to do the Taoing exercises. Some of the exercises, as if you realize that as the stretching, the movement and breathing, we are actually, what I call is to relax the whole muscles. I call them stomach because stomach are also surrounded by muscles. So when the muscles are not pressed onto the stomach or spleen, you create space for it to function at its capacity. That is one. You drink some of this tea, or you take some of this like food, like those kind of food which are yellow in color, yellowish, like pumpkin, oranges, all this to improve the stomach capacity. Because what we believe is if you see the 5 elements that I mentioned, stomach is actually belongs to what I call earth, and earth is actually, the color is actually yellow. So in general, most yellow color stuff actually improve your stomach function. I can show you the herbs in Chinese. No problem. You just hold on. So this is okay, the very first two: dandelion, cinnamon, ephedrine, calamus. For this, what you can do is you join the chat group, and then I'll just put this into the in the Telegram. I will just post this up, and then from there you can actually see the herbs name in English and Chinese. That will be easier. Okay, now I'm running through some slide. Okay.
So Eng, you're also selling the tea bags?
Yeah. I also do sell the tea bag. If you want, what I'll do is, please do join the Telegram. And what I'll do is I'll post the link, the form. That means a form where you can actually submit, and from there we'll prepare and send it to you. So please do join the Telegram. From there you can actually get those tea bags if you feel it helps you. You can give it a try. And how often do you need to drink this tea bag per week? Okay. So this tea bag, all right. What you can do is, in fact, the reality is ideally you should drink it every day. And how you should help yourself is, or your whole entire family is, get one tea bag itself, brew it, make a big quantity, and then everyone can just drink. That means, one tea bag for the whole entire family because it is a general immunity. So 1 tea bag, make it 300, although it's a recommended one. If you want to go beyond that, by all means. And then with that, share among your family members. Every day, drink it as a general maintenance.
I remember the sharing that you can also use these herbs for the mask.
Yes. So what it does is, because you see, this tea bag itself also serves another purpose. Apart from drinking, let's say if you feel that you're uncomfortable with drinking this raw herb, this kind of herbs, which you feel is a bit strange, what you can actually do is this tea bag, you can actually put it as a mask. That means an add-on feature to your mask. The herbs actually create some sort of fragrance. It becomes like a personal fragrance bag where once you smell it, those herbs, it actually increase your lung capacity and your stomach. So if you feel that you don't want to drink, you want to use it attached to your mask and breathe it in, it actually ups your immunity. And each tea bag itself can last about 10 to 12 days. So literally, if you don't, provided you don't wet the tea bag itself. So what you can do is the tea bag, you can actually insert as part of the mask and breathe it in. Because in the past, especially in Qing dynasty, there's an emperor, I can't remember the name, but his body is so weak, his condition. Every food or anything that consume is too weak for him. He will just vomit out. So what the imperial doctor do is they actually they grind the herbs into powder, they burn it and create that kind of incense. And after a period of time, his energy start coming back. And from there on, he can start consuming food. So literally, if you feel that you don't want to drink this, you feel uncomfortable because it's like consumption, you can actually attach and smell the herbs coming out from the body and strengthen your lungs. So this is like a dual purpose. Like not only you can drink it, but you, of course, if you use it for yourself, you can use it you can smell the tea bag. That means what happened is you just slide the tea bag into your mask and then you just breathe it in. So it's up to individual. There's a few ways of doing it. Okay, is there another way of preparing the tea bag? Because we don't have the sealing bag. Okay, so to prepare the tea bag, if you don't have the sealing machine, that's fine. You can go and find, like, especially like Daiso. I think Daiso, sometimes they have those kind of fold or string type tea bag. That means literally you find those tea bag that can tighten it up. If you don't have a sealer, something to tie it up, or something that if you see Daiso itself, the tea bag itself is that you can fold it in. That means you don't have to do it. You can just put the herbs in, fold it in, and then prepare it accordingly. But mind you, some tea bags, because some tea bags actually come with certain degree of plastics, you may want to source for a good tea bag. That means make sure that the plastic content for the tea bag is not that high. So do take note of that. Deep breathing exercise.
Just a quick question for you. Like, for people who are going to take the vaccine, would drinking this immunity tea be good for them?
Okay, this immunity is for general immunity purpose. So even after vaccine, when you drink it, definitely it boosts up your overall immune system. That means once you consume your lungs, because what I'm trying to do here, this tea bag, is to up the level of your lungs and your spleen capacity. Because from the TCM perspective, when we talk about virus, in general, we will fight with it. But TCM perspective is we don't fight it like the way of what the other medical system is doing. We kill it off. We open channel. That means, for example, the virus get into our body. We open channel through passing of motion or urine or through our pores to make sure that the virus actually go out. That means we create an outlet for them to get out. Because like, for example, like virus, they need a host. But once we open the channel, your lungs has the capacity to move, that means to push, to move it out. It will leave. That means your lung can purge out. What the body does is it will be able to purge out, so that it really doesn't stays in our body, rather than it stays inside and we keep fighting and fighting and fighting. So that's the way of how it works from the T-cell perspective. Do we actually run after and kill the virus? Traditionally, only very small amount, only certain herbs actually run and attack virus or bacteria. But most of the time, we actually use our own body capability to purge it out through different ways. It can be vomiting, it can be sweat, it can be through passing of motions or urine. So that way, the body is less impacted. That means your body overall, because through this way, your immune system or your overall energy is not affected. We try to go to the least minimum impact wherever possible, but at the same time, making sure you are still strong enough. That is where we are coming at.
So, Ing, can I also just check? That means, in general, all kinds of toxins in the body, right, can be eliminated when we drink this tea bag. Not just virus, but basically toxin, right?
Okay, so in general, this toxin. Okay, for this tea bag, this is the basic formula. If you see this okay, if you see this formula, this is the very basic immunity. For post-vaccination, you need to actually add another 2 more herbs. Okay, these 2 herbs is actually what I'm trying to show you here. Wait. This 2 additional herbs to increase is what I call the post-vaccination. But in general, after vaccination, let's say if you don't do any post detoxification, but general to just make sure the immunity is there, that one, the very first, this basic formula is the one that will up your immunity. But if you want to do what I mean by so-called detoxification from the vaccine, you need these 2 additional herbs. And I can share with you that formula on Telegram chat later, because right now I don't have that with me right now, the slide. But the what I call the post-vaccine detoxification formula, I have prepared them. I can share with you in the Telegram chat.
Yuri is asking, can pregnant ladies drink the tea?
For pregnant lady, okay. For pregnant lady, there isn't any much problem, because so far it does not trigger your. It does not really trigger your the baby itself. And first and second of all, this is only 3.2 grams. So you honestly, when you are pregnant, or and take a step back, or honestly, when you are pregnant, your body general immune system actually goes up. In general, I would say most pregnant mommy, the immune system goes up, because the body has to protect the baby and also up yourself so that you don't get sick. So your general immune system actually goes up. So with this formula, if you want to play safe, or if you are worried, you can actually drink at the 2nd or the 3rd trimester. For the 1st semester, usually a lot of doctors would say, no, don't take any herbs or anything. But once you get into your 2nd or 3rd trimester, you can start consuming it. No problem with that. And all this and these herbs are very mild and gentle. It's not so, and because the amount is so small, it's only 3.2. For pregnant mom, honestly, you don't have to drink every day. In fact, I foresee you just need to drink 1 week, just drink 2 to 3 times. That's about it. Because generally when you're pregnant, the overall immune system for pregnant mommy is actually much higher.
Ing, can I also add something here? Because I asked Ing this question last time when we had a group chat. I was saying that, you know, when we go to the traditional Chinese herbal shops, in fact, this amount is so small. A lot of times you'll be scratching head and saying, you need more, right? We need to buy more. So actually the amount that is being given in this tea is like I would say in English, it's like a homeopathic dosage only. Yeah. So first of all, it's like a homeopathic dosage. And then the second thing about this is what is interesting is maybe just to preempt, when we go to traditional herbal shops, they will say this amount is too small. So Eng, what would you suggest that they do if they were to go to the Yao Cai Dian, right? What should they say to
Okay.
the shop owners?
Okay. If you are going to the the medical hall to get this, okay, you need to get, ideally they will ask for 3 packs. What I mean by 3 packs, 3 packs of 32 gram each. In this case, if you go to a medical hall, you need to get 3 packs of 32 gram, not 3 packs of 3.2 gram, because they will never be able to do it for you. Because the herbs itself, some of the herbs itself, if you really go and read some of those medical herbs, some of those medical formula currently now in the currently in the current market, average is about 8 gram, 10 gram, 12 gram. You can never see such, and that is individual herb. Mine is only 0.7, which is way much smaller. So I don't know how are they going to prepare this for you. No medical hall will ever do this for you because it's so small, the amount. It's hard. So if you want to get, based on this formula you want to get, you have to get at least 3 packets of 32 gram each. Then they will say, okay, I'll prepare for you. In the end, what you will end up with 30 tea bags for yourself. So
So Eng, you'll be having a Chinese sharing session also coming up, right? Saturday.
yeah. This Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, I'll be speaking in Mandarin. Again on this topic. But it's more on the Mandarin or Chinese version. Any other thing? Okay. I think we have one. Okay, when grinding, Mike, you actually asked a question. When grinding to grind. Oh yeah. So basically what you do is, let's say if you get 3 packs of I call it 3 packs of 32 gram tea bag, get them because they pack nicely for you in one bag. So you just grind all this together. Just make sure that you grind it. And honestly, when you grind it, I recommend that you actually put the herbs in the fridge to cool it off. Because what happened is, because there's actually a lot of work behind. Because when I get actually all this herbs itself, because I get a huge amount, I actually freeze all this herb. And when I freeze this herb for about 24 hours, after that I took it out, I'll use a bigger grinding machine to grind them. The reason is, once I get the herbs from the medical hall, I don't grind it immediately, is because when you grind it at a high speed, it produces a lot of heat. And the heat actually can damage some of the properties of these herbs. And that's why I purposely freeze it for at least 24 hours and then I start grinding them. So if you're getting from the medical hall, please put in the fridge, cool it, let the herbs cool down before you start grinding. That way you preserve the properties of all these herbs and they will give you the maximum impact. That means the maximum healing, or I call calibrating effect for your body.
It's so interesting, like, last time I was asking you, Ing, that like in China, it was very popular, like those people who wants to prevent COVID, they take this thing called, I don't know what, 青花圆丸, whatever.
Oh, yeah. So,
And then,
yeah, I know where you're coming at, because in China, they actually launch a few formulas to tackle COVID. So one is 莲花清瘟, the other one is what I call 清肺排毒. This are, I don't have the English version because they are all in Mandarin. So this is what. So they have these herbs given here, and some patients that I am aware of, they actually bought those over the counter, the OTC one, especially like 莲花清瘟, and they take it as what I call supplement or immunity. Here is the problem is, because when COVID happened, it kicks up in China, and when they design the formula, it's very China centric. All right. So when it comes to Singapore, I would strongly recommend that you need to tweak, because the climate, the diet, the lifestyle is different. It may not be suitable for us. I have 2 of them who actually took it. Initially, their blood pressure is okay, but from a normal blood pressure, it lowers down to low blood. This is not something that we want for. And because they just say that, oh, take it as to ensure that you stay strong, your immunity. You see, those herbs that they take are for treatment purposes. They are not for what I call protection or up your immune system. Because if you honestly want to up your immune system, apart from drinking the tea bag, the Taoying or the exercises that I share complements. They really complement each other. You can't just do away with. You can't just say, oh, the herbs will settle everything. That's impossible, and I think it's not realistic. You need to work on a few aspects to balance your body. The herbs a bit, the exercise a bit, the diet, the lifestyle. All these are like adding points to your overall immune system. You can't just drop one or focus on one, the rest you just forget. That is not what I call immunity build up. That is what I call you just try your luck. You just think that with the hope that the medicine will solve everything for you. I don't think that's how the medical system is like, and that's not how our body function. I don't think that works that way. If it works that way, medical treatment will be, in today's world, will be way much simpler. Just one medicine settle for everything. We don't have to do everything. We don't have to do exercise. We don't have to do any other thing else. Even the current medical system, they also say that, oh, you have to take medicine, but at the same time, you have to exercise. You have to rest well. All this complement. So you can't do away with any one of them. It's just, that's why I say it's an add-on building up thing. I don't know how you can work with just one exercise, and you do enough exercise, and then you are invisible, you are not getting sick. You see, it complements everything. So it's really a holistic view. If you talk about Western medical, it's very no, it's just direct. But if you take a step back and see, they also have nutrition, they also have exercises, they also have medicine for treatment. So it's actually from a very holistic. So every medical system, be it from the Indian, from the TCM, from the Western or any other thing, they all talk about from a holistic point of view. It's not just one area. And in our current context, I believe that we should complement each other. Like the treatment process they have, complement with TCM and some of other area. It's like, it's not just really about, oh, your system, my system. It's about which way it helps the mankind or help, especially Singaporeans here, to make sure that we stay healthy. So that's where I'm coming at. It's not about who's right, who's wrong, or who is the best, but it's about using the best of everything from different systems to create a better holistic way to help the mankind. That's where I'm coming at. Because when I was in the States, when I do my internship, when I do my internship, especially from my teacher, you know, he never said that Western medical is horrible. You know, like for example, when I do acupuncture for my patient, I'm not just only doing acupuncture. I complement with physiotherapy. I complement with speech therapy. I complement with some of the medical, you know, medicine if need be to sustain, to make sure. And then once we have that, and eventually it can win off, then the whole body system can get up and running. That's how it works. So yeah, I have a different perspective.
Okay, Ing, because time is really running short, it's already going to be 10:30. Can we just answer the last two questions? I think some, maybe 2 or 3 person actually asked, can they just cook the herbs without grinding it? Okay, that's one. And the other one is this tea suitable for all age group, especially the elderlies? Can we just take this two last question? And if everyone else have any question, please move to Telegram and ask your questions.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, last two questions. Okay, let's talk about elderly. Yes, this tea is suitable for elderly. In fact, my mom, she's also elderly. She has been drinking this tea bag. All right. So it's actually suitable for elderly. And honestly, they don't have to drink a lot. Just 1 cup a day is good enough. And especially now, in our current situation, 1 cup a day, rest well, you know, do a bit of simple breathing and simple exercises will help them to stay stronger. That's what we all concerned about, taking care of the elderlies. Okay, the other question, if you can't grind, I understand. You want to cook it or boil it, fair enough. But the only thing is, honestly, because when this herb design system was built, you can boil it to, you know, you can boil it in such a way that, honestly, I don't know what is the exact amount, but you can boil it, because this is a bit this whole herbal tea bag system is very different from the traditional way. But based on the traditional, if now putting on the traditional classic way of writing, this amount, if you want to boil it, it may not have that ideal effect. That means you need to cook long enough, at least maybe for about 20 minutes. And minimally, at least you need about 600 ml to cook until to about 300 ml. And you use medium fire to cook it. That will actually be easier. So if you can, get the herbs from medical hall, 600 ml, use medium fire, cook it to 300 ml. That would actually help. And you use that to do it. It's just that the herbs itself, because it is in a bigger quantity, it is slightly a bit different in the sense that you can't just get the herbs itself and then use boiling water and cook it. It's very difficult. The essence will not come out. The purpose of grinding it is to ensure that it is small enough and water can actually, seep into the herbs to actually extract the essence of the herbs out, which is much easier. Like bigger herbs, it's like those kind of surface area. Once herbs you grind and dice into smaller surface area, the essence will be able to come out easy. But for bigger size herbs, you need to give it extra more heat to cook it so that the essence will be able to come out, and you need to cook a longer period. So if you want, no problem, get this herbs itself, 600, boil to about 300 and drink it every day. No problem with that.
Okay, I think that will be all for tonight. Thank you, Eng. Thanks for sharing so much of your wisdom and information. I would like to ask everyone, if you can, please go to Telegram, join us on Telegram so that we can blast out more information there. And also, if you really find it difficult for yourself to go to the medical hall, So this is really interesting because Eng has a really good philosophy. He wants everyone to be empowered so that you can go to medical hall and experience how you can empower yourself with buying and preparing the herbs. But if you can't go out, please do not worry. Please join the Telegram group because Eng will be putting up the form there. You can also purchase the tea bags directly from Eng. Okay, and some of you just now, someone actually asked for Eng's contact number. So if you have a pressing medical issue that you want to consult Eng on, you can contact him on his phone number here. Okay, and then also please join us on Facebook or on the Telegram